Right before I signed up like mentorship with you and we started working together, I hit like that whole month I made like $750. Yeah. It was insane. Like I was taking bills, my credit cards were maxed out. And then all that we just talked about, right? Applying all that a year and a half, 2 years later, I just hit on just under 15K, bro. Like last month. And
just under $15,000 last month? Hey everyone, I am extremely excited today to present to you guys one of my really good friends. I know I do this periodically where I get to show you guys and showcase some of my favorite people that have gone through amazing breakthroughs. Some of my agents, some of my really good friends, some of our clients. And today I get to do that with Arik Ahluwalia. I want to start off by kind of explaining a little bit of how we met. So we actually started working together a few years back, and it started as accountability partners. And actually, I'll kind of let you tell that story. But first, tell me a little bit about yourself, and so everyone can kind of have some context, and then how we connected.
Yeah, man. I mean, we connected 3 years back. I remember reaching out to you on IG.
Yep.
Right, and I saw you kind of blowing up, doing huge things, and I just honestly wanted to learn, bro. So I remember reaching out to you, bro. I was going through like some tough things personally, like just blockages. I was just getting into business and just trying to like figure everything out. So just reaching out to you, bro. I remember coming over here for the first time and you just kind of right away, bro, letting me into everything. It was awesome. And yeah, bro, I mean, right after that session that we had, like our first kind of mentorship session, we had, we made accountability contracts. So those accountability contracts, ingrained like certain habits in me that I still do to this day. That really just changed the game, bro. So that's honestly how I met you and how we got started. Obviously, like through Angel and them too, dude. Obviously, good friends, yeah. But yeah.
Perfect. Well, yeah. So it was kind of crazy. He just reached out. We decided to meet up. We had a little bit of a session together, and then there's something magical that happens when you set yourself up with an accountability partner, right? And there's different stages for everybody. So I mean, there's some point where you need it, and then sometimes you can grow out of it and hold yourself accountable. At that moment in time, I think we both needed that, and it was just really cool to do that with somebody who's consistent and can keep up with everything. So that was really cool, and that's how we kind of got our relationship started. And then from there, I want to hear from your perspective a little bit of how it developed into kind of, I guess, the mentorship portion of it and how that developed.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I would just say I really, I still to this day, like really look up to you, bro. And I just remember like the mindset and the confidence you had, bro, as like a business owner, as a family man, in like all areas of your life, bro. And that truly was inspiring to see. And I was like, man, I want to live life like Jose, I want honestly, bro, like that's how it started. I really looked up to you. So I remember just like consistently blowing you up, bro, like all the time for the littlest things, whether it was sales calls, whether it was like anxiety or whatever the case may be, bro. Like I truly see you as just like a life coach in general, like not just a business mentor. So I would say, bro, just the hunger and like desire of wanting to grow more as a person and just consistently reaching out. I remember at points like just bugging you like for mentorship, and yeah, bro, I remember like we started kind of working together with like the real estate ads that we were doing. And yeah, bro, we kind of worked out like doing mentorship as well. And it was kind of, the rest was history from there, bro. So.
That's awesome. Well, look, I appreciate that. Obviously I'm growing and I learn from my coaches and mentors. So that's really cool for you to say that. So thank you. And I do remember that we kind of just went into business together in the sense of, yes, I was, mentoring you into what I had learned in my experiences. But what I thought was really cool is that you had a lot of value to provide to me and my team as far as, Facebook marketing and doing those ads. So it was like a perfect, little symbiotic relationship that we had. So that was really cool. So with that said, what I really wanted to kind of talk to you about today was more on the mentorship side, right? So when we connected, what was the main problem that you wanted to address or that you needed help fixing?
Yeah, that's a great question. For me personally, bro, it was more so that like I always had the like desire and hunger to like, quote unquote achieve success, whatever that means to anyone. I would say like the main roadblock I had is I just didn't have like a blueprint, like a map to like follow on like how do I get here, right? Like I had visions, I had the mindset that needed some tweaking, but I would say like the biggest obstacle, bro, that I really needed is just like guidance and like control over my emotions. You know what I'm saying? That was huge for me. Like just the anxiety like I was experiencing like growing up, bro, in my college days was it was a roadblock to get to like where I wanted to get to. You know, I knew where I wanted to go. I didn't know how to get there and like how to control myself as a person. So just you like guiding me through that, aside from like the business stuff, like there's definitely a lot to talk about there too. But it was mainly just like, you know, breaking me down as a whole, bro. Like going into like mindset, like what were my fears, dude? What were, you know, anxieties, like so on and so forth, stuff like that. So I would say like it started with mindset, and that's, you know, how our first session that we ever had, I remember that's what it started with. And just how that reflects into business, because, you know, one of my favorite quotes is that you don't have a business problem, you have a personal problem manifesting in your business.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's awesome. And obviously you and I have had some extremely deep conversations on some of this stuff. So realistically at that point, it's basically some of the mental blockages, right?
Yep.
It's funny. So Arik, the other Arik, and I were talking downstairs actually about this, and we were talking about everything's up here. Because, you know, most of us have the same abilities as anyone else, right? You know, as far as the actions we can take, you know, and everything, but we don't do that unless we believe it's possible and we remove some of those blockages in ourselves to be able to get it done. And like you said, a lot of people already have the vision. We know what needs to be done next, but we block ourselves from achieving it. So that's awesome. So you say, you know, obviously you had anxiety, there was some stress involved, there was some blockages of what you needed to kind of work through. What impact was that having on you while you were going through that?
Well, dude, like I said, it just reflected in my overall business, bro. Like on sales calls, on prospecting, like, you know, just so, like, I don't think people realize like how much of personal problems they need to deal with first before like having a major breakthrough in business. And that's like one of the biggest realizations I had, is when I started really figuring that out, I was like, okay, perfect. Well, let me just, you know, work on myself, work on building that consistency, those habits, and the rest will come. Yeah. So, yeah, man, I would say like that's basically it.
Since that's the impact that it was having on you, right? So you knew it was, you know, dealing with everything in your business, you know, prospecting, your sales calls, you know, everything like that. What did you realize that you needed to fix in order to continue forward?
I mean, for me, bro, it was really clear. It was like meditating on a daily basis, you know, not overthinking that much, right? That really helped. Meditation really, really helped ground me as a person. And
that took a lot.
That took a lot, bro. I remember how many times you told me, bro, meditate. And then after like months, I was like, all right, I get why meditation is so important. Now I 100% get why meditation is so important. You know, affirmations, bro. You know, I struggled with confidence like a lot growing up. You know, I wasn't as confident as a person as I am now. Like I'm still working on it. It's a work in progress, but you know, I've come a long way from like where I was. So, you know, affirmations, you know, also working out on a daily basis, like really just taking care of my body, eating clean, dude, all that plays such a big role in like your business. And that's honestly, when I was doing that consistently, everything else started coming into play. Like I remember prospecting, I was so nervous, like, oh, what if they cuss me out over message? Like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? So I just remember, bro, like at a point, like I was sending thousands and thousands of DMs a month to like land my first few clients. And
even that was a mental block of getting those sent out and doing what you need to do in business.
Huge mental block. So I would say like consistency and being persistent is, you know, one of the foundations of like achieving anything, right? Just sticking with it no matter if times get tough, if things are going well, like staying with that consistency. So.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of us have to go through that stage of like understanding that the way we feel directly impacts what our outer world, you know, is like, right? So once you knew that that's what you needed help fixing, kind of the steps to take, what did you do to actually take action and do those steps? I guess, how did you apply it?
Well, I mean, that's kind of easy to answer. I mean, we had accountability. I also have accountability with one of my really good friends. And honestly, I've learned the hack to that is like you can't do accountability with everyone. Like you need someone who's gonna be consistent and takes it seriously, you know? And actually, we have it where we pay up and someone will actually pay out too, you know? So that's huge. So, I mean, you know, that really helped me stay consistent as a whole, bro, having that in place. But I think it kind of also ingrained certain habits, right? So like when I was staying consistent with accountability, I was like, okay, if I can do this with accountability, I just thought to myself, I should be able to do this without accountability, right? Applying that to certain things. So, you know, that started coming into fruition with like prospecting, with setting up calls, cold DMs, right? So on and so forth. Role play, dude. Role play was huge. Like I'm not in the real estate industry. So in our industry, bro, it's not as like, I feel like in the e-commerce space or like the marketing space, like it's not talked about as much. Like you should be doing these kind of things like role playing every single day. And that's been huge in like driving my confidence up, and my speaking skills and when I'm actually on sales calls. So yeah, man, I mean, that built the foundation right there. Like just the role playing, the prospecting on a daily basis, you know, taking courses, learning from mentors, like that was a huge part to my growth. And I think that's the foundation I'm going to follow for the rest of my life.
Yeah, no, and I love that. I think it's, you know, something as simple as role playing, right? Yeah. Because a lot of people feel, I feel like, you know, I get this objection a lot. It's like, I don't want to sound like a robot. And, you know, almost, I feel like some people think that you're trying to manipulate or do something a certain way. And the reality is that understanding, you know, what to say and how to say it allows you to better understand your client, allows you to be able to communicate effectively to get the result, you know, that everybody wants out of it, right? So that was huge also for us.
Yeah,
so that was pretty
absolutely.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, so all right, you put everything into place, you applied it. So what happened when you applied it?
Oh boy, I think I gotta like start by sharing like where I was at before, and I'm not like really shy to share. So I remember coming to you, bro, and I had just moved into my apartment, like I just got my own place, and I was going through like some family problems. But honestly, like you know, I remember my parents telling me like I was so focused on like my business when I was living with my parents a couple years back, to the point where like I'm gonna be honest, I was being selfish. I wasn't helping out around at the house, you know, wasn't really, you know, doing dishes and stuff like that, you know, just like really just in my basement grinding, right? Yeah. And I remember my parents having a talk with me saying like, you know, like, all right, you want to do this on your own, like go figure it out. And that was honestly one of the biggest blessings that they could have blessed me with, to be completely honest. Like once I moved out, it was just me. Like I didn't have anyone to blame. Like, oh, you know, my parents are telling me go do this or go do that or like negative. Like it was just me. Like I had no one to really blame but myself. And I remember I just hit like an all-time low. Like right when I moved out, you know, I was paying for my apartment, which, you know, wasn't cheap, taking on like expenses, especially when I was only making a couple K a month. I literally like, I think 2 months after, right before I signed up like mentorship with you and we started working together, I hit like that whole month I made like $750. Yeah. It was insane. Like I was taking bills, my credit cards were maxed out. And then all that we just talked about, right? Applying all that a year and a half, 2 years later, I just hit on just under 15K, bro. Like last month. And
just under $15,000 last month? Yeah. Okay, so hold on. So you did, when we first started, you were at $750 that you made for the whole month.
Whole month, bro.
And last month you just made just under $15,000.
Yeah.
Wow. Dude, that's amazing. Oh, that's awesome. All right. And obviously that speaks volumes. That's insane for you to make, you know, go from $750 a month to $15,000 a month. And it's like, you know, it's funny because it's not all about the money. Right. That's not what what you base your success off of. But it's funny how that comes in when you start working on yourself. Right. When you find more peace in yourself, when you value your body enough to, work out, eat healthy, when you can control your thoughts through meditation and just become a better person overall, and how you start attracting that into your life. So that's amazing, bro. I love that. What's the biggest lesson that you learned through this process?
Man, the biggest lesson I learned is the power of the mind is not a joke, bro. that's the biggest lesson. Yeah. Like straight up, man. I mean, that applies to like everything, like all the, you know, daily routine habits that we just talked about. Mm-hmm. All of that applies to like just mentally, bro. Like, you know, meditating, calming your mind. Yeah, bro. Yeah. So like, as, you know, cheesy as this may sound, bro, but honestly, just the mindset, bro. Yeah. Like that's
it's
huge.
Like the cliche. It's you know, focus on your mindset, this and that. But you know, until that little switch flips and you realize the magnitude of what that means, right. People don't really take it seriously. Right.
100%.
So,
I agree.
With that said, with your journey from when we started working together to now, I mean, is there anything else that you'd like to mention? And I'd love for, you know, obviously our audience to be able to connect with you and so forth. So maybe you can tell them how they can reach out to you.
Yeah.
But what is something that you want to leave everybody with?
I would say like just figure out, like have a vision in terms of like where you're trying to get to. That's one of the key things that also, again, that I've learned along this journey is you need to know where you're going, right? If you don't have a target, like there's only so much you can really do,
You're
right?
wandering around aimlessly.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it starts with like having a vision, like what kind of life do I want to live? Like, how does that feel like? You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of car am I driving? What kind of house do I live like? Like, how does my relationships look like? How much money is in the bank account? Like everything to the T. It's not just about the materialistic stuff, but also beyond that. And I think once you have
Like
that,
you said, how do I want to feel?
exactly,
Right?
how do
My
you wanna feel?
relationships.
Yeah. Yep.
Who's in my life, who's not.
Yeah,
Right? So,
that's spot on, bro. And I think once you have that, everything else kind of starts coming into place. Like then, like, you know, you'll start realizing these habits. And I think deep down, everyone knows what they should be doing. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone really knows what to do and like where they're trying to get to. But I think it's just like distractions and that instant gratification that, you know, people will be like, okay, let me just go, you know, take a nap for like a few hours, or let me just go, you know, not work as much, or whatever the case may be, right? Whatever you're doing. Yeah, whatever you're doing. But, you know, just know that like whatever you're sacrificing now is the reward you're going to be reaping like years from now. So I've always been a big believer, man, in like sacrificing the life I want to live now in the early ages to achieve that greater vision. So I would say, man, just have a vision, like
I love
100%.
Perfect. And get it on paper.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
get it on paper. That's important. All right, perfect. And so how can people reach out to you?
I'm not too active on social media, but the best way would probably be Instagram, just chief_Arik. Eric's with an A, so yeah.
Perfect. All right, awesome. Well, there you have it, guys. Again, I just wanted to, I mean, really just showcase, you know, one of my really good friends, accountability partner, business partner to a certain degree. I mean, he's just had a ton of growth, a ton of breakthroughs recently, and just want to make sure to share his story with you guys. So,
yeah, man, a big part is you, man. Don't forget that. Like you changed like my life completely. Like when you you know, I'm just grateful for the fact that like you took me on. Like you had so many people reaching out to you, and you're the man in the real estate industry and just everything that you're doing. And I just think that was one of the biggest blessings around my life, like to be able for you to be able to guide me to like where I was trying to go. So that changed my life as a whole, and it's not over exaggeration at all. I promise you.
look, I appreciate that. I wanna be very clear in the fact that you're the one who did the work. You know, I can't do it for you. So super proud of you, bro. And thank you for doing this. Really appreciate it. So, all right. Thank you, guys. I will be doing a little bit more of this, you know, for you guys, especially with some of my agents. Recently have had some of the biggest breakthroughs. And then also, of course, our clients as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. See you guys next time.